La da 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 da. Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper. Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper. I keep losing track of my damn hair tie. But I have to get some new ones. Okay, thank God the dollar store has a bunch of them. Alright, so I load in. Hey, Zolthi, welcome to the stream. Welcome. How are you doing this fine? It's Sunday, right? Yes, it's fine Sunday. Sunday. And of course, of the day of our Lord, I found it only fitting to do the healing roll quest with the white mage. And all priest-like. I bring their holiness here. Elihime, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, I spent a good chunk of last night grinding to 90, so we're all set to go. Yeah, so that means I officially have 2 classes to 90. I have White Mage and I have Reaper. That is it. Working on the rest of them. It'll take some time. Fighting Hermes again. Trust leveling. Trust leveling is boring. I'm sure it is. Spamming dungeons with... I will say it's not boring. Like, the way I've been leveling is I've just been spamming regular dungeon queues and roulettes. That's what I did over the last few days to get from White Mage from 80 to 90. And I will say, and I definitely will say, that was interesting. It's not boring, because boy howdy is this some shit that, like, I don't know if it's just, it could just be me. It could be I'm not playing White Mage correctly. I'm not, you know, I'll look into it if I plan on playing White Mage more after today, which, I don't know, like, though FF, Jenny, and Kiwi have all done an amazing job at trying to rehabilitate me from my experience healing in WoW, but I still get antsy from healing, like, it stresses me out. Like, during dungeons and stuff, when I see health going down, I'm like, I start hyperventilating, it's like, don't. I stress the fuck out about it. So, yeah, I don't know. It could be I'm playing White Mage wrong. But yesterday, every tank I ran dungeons with was not doing too good. I mean, I ran into several Marauders who I constantly had to get Divine Benison on. I had to have regen on them the whole time, even in non-boss parts. You should, as a healer, you should drop those on them anyway. But I had to have those on, plus spamming Cure 2 and having Medica 2 on the entire group the entire time. I had the regular... I pretty much had Lucid Dreaming right off of the... basically, I had to activate it off the cooldown. Like, every time I would activate it, I'd have to wait till its cooldown was up and activate it again. It was stressful. Now, in one case, there was a perfectly reasonable excuse that we were running with a tank in... let me double check the dungeon's name. I know which one it is. There's... We were running the Antioscope, and the one tank we ran into, I could tell that they were on console, mainly because they never chatted the whole time, even, you know, because usually when people, like, die, like, they type in a real quick, like, oh, sorry, you know, like, if they're the first to die because they ran into mechanics or something, people usually say, oh, sorry about that, ran into mechanics, apologies. This person didn't do that, which, fine, they might just be shy and just, you know, don't want to admit the mistake, fine, just keep going. And then they did a couple other things that was really weird. And the way that they were moving, like their character sometimes would do like a walk and then would run, walk, then would run, which tells me that they're using a controller. Now, granted, that doesn't necessarily mean they're on console, but regardless, I took notice of that. and the number of times they died, and I had to that person was running the dungeon for the first time. Whether the console stuff aside, they were definitely running it the first time, and I had to revive them, I want to say, 6 times throughout the whole Antioscope. And that one was stressful in particular. Like, at first I thought it was my fault. I'm like, am I doing something completely wrong here? I'm dropping Divine Benison, I'm dropping Regen, I'm getting Medica 2 on everybody. I'm even in just regular, like, we're going against trash mobs, and I'm dropping Asylum as soon as I have it available. And I'm spamming Cure 2 and a Size. I'm out of mana left and right. It was interesting. And stressful, but we got through. They died 3 times on the last boss, but thankfully we were able to do it in one go. It was weird doing it, most of it without the tank though. I will say this: tank is a fun job to me. Healing is a stressful one. It's like, why is everyone trying so hard to die? Why? You know, like I just sit there the whole time wondering why everyone's trying to die as fast as possible. But regardless, there's my rant aside. You know, I've spilt the tea. Anyway. Okay, before I head over to before I head over to Razatan for us to get going, I'm gonna check on my. Alright. Yeah, adventure complete. Good. Thank you. There we go. Okay, blah. Field exploration. Well, the level 10 one now. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Alright. And I don't think I was selling anything on the market, so let me real quick talk to my Azilia. Azilia, you finished your adventure. What'd you get? Nice. It's my girl. Nice. Very nice. Well done. Alright, now I'll assign you another one. Yeah, I just started to do this with my 2 retainers. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. Alright, did that little busy work aside. Hey, Lauren. Alright, now to Razatan. Which I will over here. Saband. Razatan. Hello. Start leveling the trust. That'll be a bit of a slog. Hey, have fun with it. Takes time, but it's worth it in the long run. Yeah, definitely. Especially with my plans of economic domination. That's the end game I'm excited for. You know, I'm excited to do like savage raids and stuff like that as well. As much as I'm gonna die a lot, I'm excited to do savage raids. But boy howdy, how I'm gonna have a hell of a time. With the economic domination. I like money. I like the gil. I like having a lot of gil. I like it a lot. Alright, so there we are. Down the hallway and to the right. Or you can't miss it. Ended up leveling Fisher for your retainer and brought it back. A fat cat minion. Was rather happy about that one. Nice. Very nice. Actually, what did they get me? I got some cards I forgot to use. That's on me. Muddy water. Beast sinew. And I got 8 elegant bronze piece. That's 800 gil right there. That'll cover like one transport. Oh god. Alright. Wait, hold on. The game volume, let me turn that up. I think I forgot to. Yep. Sorry about that. 50,000. Yeah, I was wondering why it was quiet. Then I'm not wearing the headphones, but that's that. Okay, so we're ready to go. Alamigo. Sorry, so we're going back to Alamigo for this one. Probably helping out Rauban. Fantastic. Or lease. Or lease. That's quite possible. I'm assuming the Ul'dan delegate... Wait, no. It's both of them. Ul'dan and Elamine. Maybe we're helping all of them. Maybe we're helping... or maybe we'll see Pippin, Rauban, and we'll see Lise. Possible. We could be doing that. This could be interesting. I'm gonna wait just a couple of minutes here, just in case. I did only advertise the stream like 2 minutes before going live, so I'm gonna give it a second. I'm gonna give people a second to kind of filter in, and real quick remind my family I'm streaming because oftentimes they neglect to remember my schedule. See, the schedule I make week to week is not just shared with me, like I share with everybody. I share with the whole family the week to week streaming schedule. I let them know. They will hopefully leave me. Enjoy, enjoy. Thank you. Everybody knows the way to go. Go. Yeah, we're only gonna give it a couple minutes. Just a couple minutes, just in case anyone wants to seep in. Wow, we're doing this. If not. And catch your streams for a bit. Real life has been crazy. Seems like you're feeling much better. Oh, well, yeah, medically. I'm doing much better. I'm doing much better medically. Bit of a twinge in my back from time to time, but I suppose that's normal. But I'm glad to hear life is treating you well as well, Alihime. God knows we need life to treat us just a little bit better these days. Last year it was a little bit mean. Life was a bit rude. Oh, last year. And the year before that, considering. And the year before that, and the year before that. But maybe this year. Maybe this year will be nicer. Maybe we'll start seeing an upturn. We've had if life was a corporate graph, we'd be like, you know, in the 90s and early 2000s, there was issues, but more or less it was like a plateau of like, it was okay. This was the time of okay. You know, you saw this long, straight line of a plateau of okay. And then around, I'm gonna say the mid-2010s, all of a sudden we had to dip down. We had a bit of a dive, but it was a sharp dive. But you know, we kind of thought we were gonna have back and uphill. You know, we had a dive, but we were gonna go back up, right? We're gonna go back up, and then we didn't. Then we went further down. We went further down. Maybe we didn't realize we could go this far down in the graph. Like, okay, might need to file for bankruptcy in life. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, hopefully this year will be the upswing in the graph. I'm happy to hear you're happy to hear that I'm okay. all right. I think we're getting everybody that's coming in. So we're gonna hop into the healing role quests. Let's do this. Far from free. Alright. So it looks like Fordola is going to be involved. I should have figured that. If you're ready to lend us your aid, I'll apprise you of the situation. Oh, please do. We've received reports of a creature believed to be a blasphemy stalking the streets of Alamigo. Troops have been assigned to track and slay the beast, but there are likely to be casualties. With most of our healers posted elsewhere, we had thought to petition you for aid. Wow, that's mean. I don't know why I immediately thought of Jenny. Genocide over on the Discord. Sounds like you need better soldiers, not more healers, but if I must. Spats! Healer Shade. I'd be glad to help. Once again, we are in your debt. We shall inform Commander Alden forthwith. My comrades in the Immortal Flames would be glad to have you watching over them. You see, as there have been no signs of any blasphemies in our lands, we have joined our Alamegan allies in their hunt for the fiend. Trouble is, the majority of our own healers are working day and night to treat the tempered Imperials captured at Pagothan. For that reason, we too will be glad of your help. Aye, our presence alone will be a great comfort to the troops, I'm sure. As time is of the essence, I ask that you make your way to the Alamegan Quarter and report for duty. Commander Alden is overseeing the hunt, and he will explain all upon your arrival. May Ralgar grant you strength. Yes! Though strength is not the stat that healers rely upon, but yes, I'll be happy to have the extra strength to lift my staff. All right, to the Alamegan Quarter. Hell here. Girabanya, the Lochs. Alright. Been a hot minute since I was last here. Fly, my unicorn! Make me fabulous! Oh. I'm a boss ass bitch. Yes! Blasphemy hunter. Ah, Master Scythe. We were told you were on your way, but this is even quicker than expected. I'll tell Commander Alden you've arrived. One moment, please. Glad you could join us. Now that the far greater crisis has been resolved, we may and must turn our undivided attention to the matters of a smaller but no less deadly scale. Aye, I'd like nothing more than to hear about your recent adventures, but I'm afraid such pleasantries will have to wait. As our man in Thavnair will have told you, a blasphemy is loose in Alamigo. That is a hell of a blasphemy. It's got a weird mask. When it first appeared, the city guard were able to get most of the bystanders to safety. And for a mercy, those caught in the chaos only suffered minor injuries. But the feed managed to escape and has not been seen since. We must find it, and soon. For as long as it remains at large, every man, woman, and child is at risk. As was the case in Thavnair, the blasphemy's very existence seems to spur the creation of lesser beasts. The longer it is allowed to roam free, the more tragedy our people will suffer. Are you certain it's a blasphemy? Did anyone see the change take place? Aye, there were several eyewitnesses who gave the same account. A man walking through the Alamegan Quarter fell to his knees all of a sudden, and a moment later transformed into the monstrosity we now pursue. Wow. Okay. So wait, I'm assuming that when the whole thing kicked off after we defeated Zodiac and we saw those clips of different folks turning. And I did comment about how we didn't see the Maelstrom represented. We didn't see anybody transform in Limsa. Oh, okay. I see how that ties in. Okay. So all the people... I'm assuming that means all the people we saw in those little snippets of, like, the final days starting to kick off. during that little montage. I'm assuming each of those is going to end up being the person we go up against in these role quests. I think that's right. I think I'm making the right connection. Because I thought when that scene played, it was just to display how the final days was kicking off and people's depression was leading to, you know, transforming and shit. But that's kind of cool. If they are indeed tying it into, the role quests where the flashes of people we saw, and then it would make sense why we didn't see the Queen of the Sahagan transform, because that would have revealed the twist to there. You know, that was supposed to be a surprise. Whereas here we still don't know nothing about these individual people, but we can at least learn about them as we face off against their blasphemy forms. But beyond the fact that he was a young Highlander, we know next to nothing about him. Even the descriptions of his appearance are too vague to help identify the lad, and we've no clues as to his name or background. For all we know, he might not have even been born in Alamigo, might have been the son of a refugee come to visit. There are other possibilities we're investigating, though. That said, I doubt his circumstances are unique. Blasphemies and beasts are born when men are overcome by despair, and whatever drove him to turn likely could have done the same to another. Therefore, if we are to prevent future tragedies, it is imperative that we identify and address the underlying cause. Until we do, we'll have no choice but to deal with the afflicted, the only way we know how, by granting them a quick death. But now, I would have you join the hunt and keep my men from falling prey to these creatures. Are you up to it? Yes, sir. You have my thanks. And as chance would have it, we've just received word that a number of beasts were spotted on the outskirts of Alagana. The troops stationed there have already put them down, but were wounded in the process. First and foremost, they need medical attention, and that's where you come in. I'll meet you there. Hey, Dragonis. Thank you for the head pats. I appreciate it. Alright, speak with Robon outside Alagana. Ha! Tally ho! I'm fabulous! Oh, la 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 la. I'm riding a goddamn motherfucking unicorn! I'm fabulous. Nah, don't mind me, Robon. I'm just being fab. I'm being amazing. Although the soldiers were able to lead the beasts away from the village and culled a lot of them, victory did not come easily. It's times like these that our lack of healers is most sorely felt. I dare say they've yet to receive any treatment at all. See to their wounds while I survey the area for any stragglers that may have escaped. Once I've completed my patrol, I'll head to the village to gather eyewitness reports. Look for me thereafter. Yes, sir. I'm healing you. Hold still. See, this is what happens when you walk into mechanics. Gods be good. I feel reborn. Hold on. Your shroud. Are you a Makote? I don't know. You're Shroud, aren't you? I can't believe it. You're the one who inspired me to join the Resistance in the first place. And how you've come to save me in my hour of need. I'll never forget this. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome, young man. Now don't step into mechanics. There are less generous healers than me who will, by very virtue of that, not heal you. I saw them change right before my eyes. Those weren't monsters I killed, but innocent men. Hey, don't let it get to your head. What had to be done? There were others that we had to protect, and thanks to you I can continue to do just that. Once I've made my way back, I'll give a full account. The families, they'll understand. Yo, stressful but rewarding? I take out the rewarding. And you got my take on healing. It's stressful. I agree to that fully. Alright, Merchant and Mender. I don't think I need to repair anything, but I haven't checked. I did do a lot of grinding yesterday. Alright, good. It looks, I must have repaired before I wrapped up yesterday. Alright. Now put me on my glorious unicorn. Fabulous. Right. John, welcome to the stream. Sage is a blast, but very busy. Does a crap ton of damage, though. Nice to hear. I'm gonna be unlocking that at the end of today, after we do the row quests. For treating the wounds of those soldiers, you have my thanks. And theirs too, no doubt. It seems they were indeed successful in slaying all the beasts. If my search is any indication, but we must remain vigilant. I've also spoken with several people who witnessed the moment of the transformation, though the ordeal was understandably left them rather shaken. Hey, Ironforge, it's good to see you, man. I hear you've been through a fair few ordeals yourself, Shroud. Hey, Aldebaran Hat, welcome to the stream. As for me, I've been kept busy with this and that. Like getting the hang of this wheelchair. Obviously it has its limitations, but it gets me where I need to go. I've been working with this new organization as well, which is what brought me here. But no sooner had I arrived than those locals turned. Regenfried, I hear you were there when it happened. What can you tell us?
The ones who underwent the change are the very people we were trying to help.
Nah, gotta put more air into it. Perhaps I should explain from the beginning. The meeting Lys held in the Royal Palace marked a turning point for all of Garabania. It spurred us to open a dialogue with peoples and communities we otherwise would have shunned. But there's still so many problems to be addressed, and countless souls struggling to build new lives for themselves. I decided to form a volunteer group, the Silver Griffins. Our main concern is the welfare of Alamegans who sided with the Empire, for whatever reason, and helping them find their place in society. In particular, the surviving families of the Kranya Lupi. I thought you despised the skulls. You changed your tune. I'd say he's changed his tune. If I recall correctly, wasn't he really not happy? I mean, most of the Alamegans weren't happy with their occupation, but in particular. Make no mistake, I've not forgiven them. And I don't have that in me, and I doubt I ever will. But the memory of that day in the palace, of Fordola asking to be locked up again after saving us all, it stayed with me. Got me to thinking about why she and the other youths would commit such atrocities. Why they'd swear to serve the Empire. And the answer was simple, because they'd seen what we'd seen and suffered much the same. In a hell where all were condemned, they chose to betray one brother to save another. That's how the Garleans win, not by breaking you, but by making you break yourself. By making that choice the right one for a man at the end of his tether. Welcome, Morgan Tempest Lupus. Healing only begins with liberation, and some scars never will regardless. Those who returned from foreign lands may have difficulty carving out a living here, but the ones who pledged allegiance to Garlemald. This is not the Alamigo we dreamed of, but after 20 years of misery, I'll not see it all thrown away because we can't come to terms with the past. That's why I formed the Silver Griffins, to see that no one is cast aside. It's a cause I support, and that's what brought me here today. I've been acting as a mediator. Aye,
and in the short time it's been with us, he's proven himself a natural. But despite our early successes, the families of the Skulls continue to refuse our help.
I think I see where this is leading. They're the ones who turned, yes? It comes as no surprise. Their kin tormented and murdered fellow Alamegans. Anyone with a conscience would feel shame and guilt, and for some, it might be too much to bear.
I think I might know why they're turning on us. Turning us away. It's a sensitive matter, though, so let's go somewhere we won't be overheard. It definitely needs a helping hand. A healing hand is no exaggeration. It's about one of the men who turned. I saw his memories.
With the echo? I'll not pretend I understand it, but tell us what you learned.
I only caught a glimpse, but that was enough. It was during the occupation, a man raising his son. Only the two of them, but they were family. To keep his boy clothed and fed, he chose to side with the Empire. He knew what others would say, but he did it anyway. So he was branded a traitor. Every day, his son listened to the jeering and the insults, but there was nothing he could do. When he came of age, he joined the Skulls in the hope it would make life easier for his father. He never dared to question his orders, no matter how depraved. He died in the revolution, but not before killing his own countrymen. His father wept not for the betrayer and murderer, but for the man he could have been. He blamed it all on himself, right up until the change took him.
I can only pray he and his boy have finally found the peace they were denied in life. Alas, theirs is an all too familiar tale. They cannot forgive themselves, nor can they see how anyone else could.
The sins of their kin weigh heavy on them. They think themselves undeserving of our compassion.
If they carry on like that, they'll turn into beasts. We've got to help them before it's too late. Growing up half Regalian in Alamigo, I know how it feels to be shunned and hated. To hate myself. But so long as we give ourselves and others a chance, we can change for the better. And while I might not be as clever or eloquent as someone like Alphino, I know I can make a difference. I might not be quite the swordsman I used to be, but I'm still a fire at heart, and I owe it to Abba and Ali to make the most of this life so long as I've got it. Hell yeah. We Silver Griffins will give our all to see that no more baser blasphemies ravaged by Garabanya again. So Commander Alden, do we have your approval to continue our work?
Of course. There's no enemy more formidable than despair, and I'd be a fool to refuse your help. That even a single one of our people has succumbed to this transformation is proof of our failing to protect them. Therefore, I pledge the Silver Griffins my unconditional support. Together, we will prevail. Now that we have Shroud on hand to aid the troops, I believe we are ready to face any beasts we encounter. Though I fear it is only a matter of time before others appear. I ask that you lend the Silver Griffins your assistance in the meantime.
Noble head nod.
Very good. For now, let's return to the city.
Alright, thank you for joining while you could, Alahime. Have an amazing afternoon. Alright. Yeah. So we go around the Alamican Quarter. Alright, so The level 85 quest is complete. Now on to 86. Wait, why am I going all the way there? I can teleport. What am I doing? Don't be a fool. As fabulous as I look on a unicorn, that's a bit of a long travel.
How can anyone be depressed while seeing me ride atop a unicorn?
Ah! La 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 la. Alright.
Those who harbor guilt do so because they are weak of heart, but because they have failed to meet the demands they make of themselves. 'Twas the same for me when I believed that my failures had led to the Sultana's assassination. The despair and self-loathing were indescribable. I was fortunate that you and the other Scions came to my rescue, that I had friends who convinced me I was more than the sum of my worst mistakes. Now we must do the same for the people of Alamigo. We must help them to heal and find the strength to, if not forgive, then come to terms with who we were, so that we can look to who we can be, who we should aspire to be. This is precisely why the work of the Silver Griffins is so vital. Though our problems are not new, the emergence of this deadly phenomenon means we cannot afford to delay addressing them any longer, and we will be better for it ultimately. Once we've decided the course of action, you'll be the first to know. Until then, may Ralgo watch over and keep you.
We were hoping you'd stop by. I'll show you to Commander Alden at once. Why, thank you, my dear. Escort me. Alrighty.
You're a welcome sight as always, Shroud.
Aye, and it's a lot's happened since we spoke. The Silver Griffins the Silver Griffins of first way to read that like that. We Silver Griffins have been keeping busy.
As have I and my men, but I'm afraid we've little to show for our efforts. Although we've been searching high and low for the blasphemy, we've seen neither hide nor hair of it. Unfortunately, everyone else has had better luck. We received reports of lesser beasts throughout Girabanya, and putting them down as important as hunting the blasphemy that got away. To complicate matters, rumors have been circulating that those beasts were the Skull's kin. While this was true of the recent incident in Alagana, we cannot have people jumping to conclusions, given what they might feel tempted to do.
It has been suggested that we take these individuals into custody for their own protections, as much as the safety of others. But that would only isolate. But that would only isolate them even further and give credence to the rumors.
The recent unrest has hindered the efforts of the Silver Griffins to no end. Therefore, I ask that you aid them in their endeavors, and see if there is aught that can be done.
Also, you'll be joined by another volunteer. Try not to be too surprised. Fordola? I thought I felt my ears burning. Yep, there she is. Scowl and all. How you doing? I said I don't need a keeper, but did they bloody listen? Did they bollocks? Come on, don't be like that. This is what you agreed to. Besides, you never know when you might have a need of a healer, and there's none better than Shroud. No, there definitely are. Turns around, pulls out phone, calls Jenny and Kiwi.
Help! They think I'm the best healer. Help!
He's right. You've earned a measure of trust, and this shouldn't be taken to mean otherwise.
Thick as thieves, are we now? Then there's no need for this sodding collar, aye? We all know it's not coming off anytime soon. But if this is how it's to be, then fine. So long as it keeps it out of my mind. My way.
I want the two of you to visit the Silver Griffin's headquarters in Alagana. Several relatives of the Crania Lupi have agreed to meet with them, and we could do with a measure of precaution.
If anyone so much as mentions the skulls, I'll deal with it. Understood? Let's get this over with. She's as much at risk of turning as anyone. Maybe even more so. You don't need the echo to see the weight she's carrying. She's still not got a handle of her own on her own echo, either. Sometimes the visions come without warning and with such force that it's all she can do to stay standing. There's no telling what might happen when she comes face to face with the family of her former comrades. So look after her, please. Don't worry, I got this. Me and my unicorn will add much moral support. I even got my pom-poms ready. I wish there was more I could do for her myself. But we've got all our own duties, and I'll see them through to the end.
So must we all. Follow Fordolo's lead. We're counting on you both. But be ready to step in, even if she curses you for it.
She probably will. Don't worry, after my magic hands do wonders on people's attitudes. I just realized that can be taken two ways. My healing ability, I mean. Don't get me wrong, I have magic hands, but I also have magic hands. Alagana. Healing ability. Just dig in my grave. Yep. I got the spade ready to go. And Fodolo's not my type anyway. Certainly not an attitude.
I had a feeling Robon would send you, Shroud. But as for her...
If you got any complaints, take it up with the commander.
No, it's fine. Truth be told, ever since that day at the Royal Palace, I've been thinking.
Stop. You don't want to say it, and I don't want to hear it.
To the matter at hand, then. We Silver Griffins have been working to support the relatives of the Crania Lupi, but one family has gone missing. A mother and her parents, who lived together under the same roof. One of ours paid them a visit, but they were nowhere to be seen, and when they went inside to check, they found the house had been torn to shreds. Thick gouges in the floor and the walls, made by a beast's claws by the look of them.
You think they've turned?
Aye, that's the most likely explanation. Please, do what you must before anyone else is hurt.
There's no time to waste. I'll head west, you east. Alright. I'll be back to heal you shortly. Just over yonder. Unicorn! We fly! Your white mage used often the Edda Scythe, so Guardians. So, regardless how this will play out. I'm not sure regardless. I don't know that word. What does regardless mean? Regardless. Oh, did you mean to say regardless? That would make more sense. So regardless how this will play out, I am prepared. Oh, okay. Yeah, that reads better. Sorry. I thought you were using a different word.
That shows how much my brain's working today. It's on overdrive.
Oh, why hello! Alright, just to give myself multiple layers of healing. There we go. Now let's swift cast. Well, presence of mind, sorry.
Eat glare!
In the dirt you spy an envelope containing a crumpled, tear-stained letter. I must have tear-stained. Dear Mother, I hope this letter finds you well. Time is short, so I must keep this brief. Although I have done anything to make you proud. Oh, I have never done anything to make you proud. I promise you things will be different when the war is over. Until then, take care and know that I love you with all my heart. Placing the letter back into its envelope, you turn your attention to finding the others. You can pull big, but should be prepared that I may dig his grave after when he don't use his option to stay alive. You mean his oh shit button or his damage mitigation? Yeah. I will say this. Again, yesterday being my sample study, lots of tanks really don't know to use damage mitigation. Now, some tanks have good excuses, like they don't have to stay, they only have so many damage mitigation abilities. I'm used to Dark Knight, which has like all of them. Although it's sad to see the tank, that Dark Knight has become like the worst tank right now. But regardless, yesterday I struggled to keep every tank I seemed to queue up with alive because they just did not fucking use damage mitigation. And in the same one I was speaking of earlier, where we were running the anti-scope with that tank that didn't know what he was doing, and it was his first time run, and I had to revive him multiple times. The first time I had to revive him was right at the entrance of the dungeon, because he didn't have tank stance on. And so both our DPS died near instantaneously, and then the mob just tagged on him. I tried to keep him alive, but I used Swiftcast to try and revive. It was a whole mess. We didn't wipe on that mob, but he did die because it was chaotic. Like I didn't notice his tank stance was off, so we got and he double pulled. So it's not good. Not good at all. So, I will say, other than him though, most of the people I ended up queued up with yesterday did at least remember the tank stance. Most of them just forgot to use those damage mitigation buttons outside of boss rooms. During the bosses, like there was one paladin I was running with who remembered to use his damage mitigation, but only on bosses. Like he would do double pulls, but use no damage mitigation. So I'd be dropping Divine Benison on him, regen, Medica 2 on the whole group, then I'd use Assize to do damage as soon as all of the group were still taking damage anyway, to do damage to the mob and also heal us up real quick. Then I'd activate Presence of Mind and I would spam Cure on him. He never died throughout that entire dungeon due to my efforts, but by God, I related to one part in Joe Cat's video very strongly during that. I was about ready to hire a hitman. I was like, this motherfucker. This motherfucker do not know what he is doing. Speaking of, drop regen, Medica 2 just for extra. Alright.
Eat glare, bitch.
survey the location. There we are. You discover what appears to be a wedding ring with a name and date engraved on the inside. With seemingly no more clues to be found, you decide to report to Ragenfried. I think that's how you say his name. Some names I'm not sure how to say. Because that looks like it's Ragenfried, but it might be Ragenfried. I might also be overemphasizing the R and I. Feels like a typical Monday for you. I don't know. I don't like healing. I really don't. Tanking I enjoy. DPS I enjoy. Healing is the most stressful job in the game. Like, by leaps and bounds.
Were you able to find anything?
Yes. This is why I need to find my hair tie. Because I lost it a while ago and now my hair's all over the place. I also need to shave my sides again.
Then it is as we feared. I found and killed a third. It was carrying this.
Oh, that was $4, was?
A matching ring. I'll deliver these effects to the next of kin and arrange for a funeral. Or as close to one as possible under the circumstances.
There's no change in the past. We'll always carry it. And the scars. But no matter who we were and what we did, we're Alamegans. Then, and now.
The Empire was our enemy then, and now it's despair. Good words and deeds will serve us best in this fight. Weapons even an old man like me can yet wield.
Why? Why? God damn it. It's in the middle of dialogue. You bastards. It's not maintenance, right? I thought there's no maintenance going on, right? I was pretty sure there wasn't. That's the first time I've been, like, yeeted out of the... Not ever, but in a while. I think the last time I was getting yeeted out of the servers and stuff was Stormblood. And at one time at the beginning of Endwalker. No, doesn't look like... Yeah, there was some maintenance on the 24th, but not today. No, you're still on? Oh, okay, so no, it just yeeted me. Well, at least the queue is small today.
Even the warrior of light knew despair.
God damn it. Alright, there we are. Let's try this again. Just gonna skip the dialogue options we weren't already doing.
Thanks to the two of you, the missing villagers may finally be laid to rest. And I and the other Silver Griffins will redouble our efforts to prevent any further tragedies.
I finished checking the wares, sir. Everything's in order. Oh, what a grim-looking fellow.
Good work. Take the rest, lad. You've more than earned it.
Hey, sir, by chance, do you have clinical depression?
Keep this to yourselves, but Everett's younger brother was a member of the Crania Lupi. He's exactly the sort of person we're trying to help.
Allow me to go over and give him hug. Allow me to go over and give him hug. Is this not allowed as solution? Hug! God damn it.
Like many of the others, he was reluctant to talk to us at first, but after we'd gained his trust, we were able to help him find work. He's taken to it well.
Yes, hug. Oh shit.
It's, the butcher! Traitors, all of us, kinslayers, deserving of hate and death, hate and death!
Folk. Get back! Get back!
Well, damn. Ah. Damn.
Listen, alright. Well, I fully acknowledge that for my issue with Fordola, I'm not saying I was wrong. I was totally right about my issues with Fordola, like, originally, in her original arc, when she was a villain. But here's the thing. When someone who has been evil or done evil things in the past makes a solid effort to do better, and especially when they do something this obvious, like I get that some people might be like suspicious, like oh you're doing good now because you don't want to die, you want to be executed, you don't want to pay for your crimes, but there's like doing like community service bullshit that's clearly just an act to look better, and then there's this, like, she ran in, allowed herself to get attacked from behind. I'm sorry, but you have to be fucking blind. You have to be goddamn blind to fucking think that this isn't like a legitimate attempt to do good. Well, that or have more hate in your heart than you have any kind of sense. Which, to be fair to these people as well, they suffered quite a bit while she was being the tyrant that she was. But at the very least, you know, just hop on over and go, look, I thank you for saving her life, but please, like, I'm sorry, I don't trust you. Like, there's a thing there. Be reasonable.
Fordola saved your girl's life!
I know, but she's...
It happened in an instant. That poor lad. But it had to be done, without hesitation. Would have been much worse otherwise. Could you go after Fordola and see to her wounds? I'll do what I can here.
I'm ahead of you? Oh, depends. What do you mean by ahead of you? And also, how you doing, Eagle Series? Like Gaius? I mean, they are very similar stories between Fordola and Gaius. I think the difference is with Gaius, though. Gaius, I think the interesting difference is not necessarily saying one is like more interesting than the other. Though the crux of their action, their motivations and what they're doing now is the same. Like they're both former tyrants that are seeking redemption. Although in Gaius' case, tyrant is a strong word for what he was. Yes, objectively speaking, by the definition of the word tyrant, he was one. But I would say with all the effort he took to allow citizenship, allow integration of different peoples into the Garlean Empire, I won't call it humanitarian, but I guess, more reasonable approach to occupations, as reasonable as occupations can be. I'd say Gaius is a villain, yes, objectively speaking, but not in, like, he's not a malicious villain. He's a villain in the sense that he goes against other people's wishes, but does his best to soften his blows. And even now, he realizes that even that wasn't enough. That just, you simply shouldn't, like, try and conquer other people. Yeah, he learned that lesson, thankfully. And also, learned of the Ascians and what they were doing, the manipulation of the Garleans, etc., etc. I think generally with Gaius, his story is very different from Fordola's. Because also, if we just hyper focus on the redemption part of their stories, in the case of Gaius's redemption, his redemption is that of a villain to other people, not to his own. And he's also trying to save his own people, but the redemption part of it is very much making up for harming others. But he has no personal connection to those that he's wronged, other than that he's wronged them, and he's trying to make up for that. He's an outside force that did wrong and is trying to make up for the wrongs. So, but his connection to it is more of a principle thing. Whereas Fordola, her story is more complex in the sense that not only was she not like Gaius in the sense that her occupationary job she didn't make efforts to soften the blow on the Alamegans. If anything, she did everything in her power to hit them harder, hit them faster, hit them more bluntly, and to solidify the Empire's rule in Alamego. And on top of that, those actions being bad enough on their own, it makes it even worse than in Fordola's case. She went the extra mile. Well, in her case, she's a native to Alamego. The people she wronged aren't just some other nation that she was ordered to fight, like Gaius. It's her own people, which makes it far more of a horrendous act to do what she did. Her actions alone, even if you're doing it to somebody else, is immensely wrong. Especially the genocidal act she's taken. But there is an extra special layer of evil when you do it to evil might be the wrong word. A special layer of wrong when you do it to your own people. That adds to the weight on the totem pole of good or bad. That makes it far worse. So, in Fordola's case, she has a more severe redemptionary arc to have to go through than Gaius. Because Gaius will have a much easier time earning his redemption because, well, even though he did do bad things, while he was doing bad things, he was making efforts to be as good a person and follow his principles of not wronging other people and giving them a way to join the Empire. His view of honestly, if you ask me, of one story development I want Gaius to become the new Emperor. I would absolutely love that, because imagine a Garlean Empire with his principles. Hopefully mine, especially with his new learned aspects, like subtracting the element of like conquering other nations, like they can actually remain self-sufficient and have people, maybe they can join the Eorzean alliance, start creating trade trade routes with Ul'dan, start selling their mechanical creations as well as a way to help out the Alliance. There is so much I think Gaius could lead the Garleans to that I would just love to see, and especially with. And the thing is, he would have been a great ruler before we beat him with the principles that he had, because again, he did believe in the Garlean line about like conquering the world and unifying humanity under one banner and defeating the primals. But he still you know, he believed in that. But again, he did make humanitarian efforts, and he did open up the route for good to happen along with his rule and along with the Empire's rule, and allow people to become Garleans in the sense of citizenship, reward people based on a meritocracy. Like, did they put in the effort to earn their position? Did they work hard? Did they rank up? Did they put in the elbow grease? If they did, they earn their citizenship. They earn their right to be called a Garlean and should be treated like anybody else who was born one. All of that's respectable on its own, and that's before we met him. Like, that's how he was. That's what he was like before we fought him. After we fought him, he still has those principles, but now he also sees the conquering of things as wrong, and even helped. I can't remember what the quest line was called now. I thought the Warren Triad. No, the crystal weapons. The crystal weapon quest line. We got to see how he helped. What's the word? I had it on the tip of my tongue. Now it's gone. Come back to me. Come back to me, word. He helped liberate a place he helped conquer for the Garleans. So I think in his current state, he'd be the perfect ruler for the Garlean Empire, and I would love to see him take charge. That's a story development I want to see, especially in the post Endwalker patches. Like, I want to see in like over the course of like 6.1, 6.2, 6.3. I want to see that develop. But that aside, but with Fordola, her case is basically, if you took all the redeemable aspects of Gaius and add the extra layer of evil of doing those evil acts upon your own people, Fordola's got a lot more to redeem. Like, in Gaius, it feels weird to say that, especially since Gaius was just like the straight up full-blown villain of an expansion, but comparatively, he's far more redeemable, especially in the eyes of his own, of other people. Because again, he's an outside force that believed what he was doing was right and learned it was wrong. When you're an inside force hurting your own people, you shouldn't need to be told that that's wrong. So that's, again, it's just her villainy is going to take a long time to redeem. But I do want to say that the effort she's putting in to redeem herself needs to be acknowledged. Like, you can't just, like, that mother reacted, I think, correctly. As much as I disagree with it, you know, because I'm, you know, playing the game, I'm an outsider in this, and plus it's fiction. But she reacted reasonably. Like, this is somebody who's done horrible things. You don't want them near your kid, even if they just took a blow. But the thing is, even if someone I thought was really, really bad, if you save my kid from getting killed, I'm not gonna, like, don't you get near them. Like, fuck it, you earned to at least be near them by saving them, but please leave them alone. Thank you. I don't know. Anyway. My TED Talk's over. Yeah, I know. There's plenty of reason why he won't end up being emperor. I just said I'd like him to be, based on his principles and based on his beliefs. Gaius would be the, in my opinion, premium leader. If not emperor, yeah, president can work. But Do I think it's gonna happen? I mean, I'd like it to. I really would. I think it would. I think it could happen. I definitely think it could happen. Like, in fact, doing that, I'm pretty sure would help fulfill his obligation to his children that he promised them. At least it would help. It would help give him the resources to do it faster. So I think there's plenty of room for it to be possible. Doubtful. I agree. It's doubtful. There's probably going to be someone else put in charge, but it's something I would like to see. It would give me hope for their faction in the lore of Garlemald. Like, if he became leader, I could see that going only positive ways. Again, especially based on his principles.
I'm fine. Leave me be.
I said I don't need your help! It's not only your injuries I'm worried about. I'm a healer, let me do my job. I'm here, let me do my job. It's not only your injuries I'm worried about. I'm not sure what that means. Like, I'm not sure, like, the intent of that. Like, am I saying I don't only worry about hers but other people's? Or am I saying that it's not, her physical injuries are not my only concern, but also her emotional ones? Oh, let me try that one.
Bloody hells. If you're gonna patch me up, get on with it quietly. A curl can't change its spots. And there's no washing the blood off my hands. Nor would I, even if I could. Taking up Garlean's steer was the first choice, but not the last. Like the first kill, the hardest. Every choice after that came easier and easier, till I stopped counting, stopped caring. You tell yourself it's right, it's for the greater good. You give the order, you feel the ground tremble as the cannon fires when the dust settles, and your own men are buried beneath the rubble. And you tell yourself, oh shit.
Me too.
Alright, time to pull out my therapist card.
That man in the village. I saw us past. I'm the one who killed his brother. I'll be alright. I just need a moment. Can you wait for me?
Yeah, I can wait for you. Take a breather.
Everything the skulls fought for. The sacrifices we made. The things we did. In the end, it was all for nothing. Sometimes I look back on the road I walked, and the bitterness I can still taste, and I wonder, if I'd grown up in another time, another place, would I have done the same to a different people? Was it always in me, to be me? All I know is, everyone would have been better off if I had never been born. But I was, and I dragged others into a hell of my own making. I remember those two brothers in particular. Childhood friends of mine.
The other one enlisted with me, but the younger... He would never have made it as a soldier. He was too kind, too good. Ansfried died at Specula Imperatoris, but his brother's still out there. Somewhere. Not that I've got the courage to face him after what I did. I hope he's found the life he deserves. Not all of the Crania Lupi at the towers died that day, though I know from one of my visions that at least one survived. Rudolph. I'm glad he made it out, but too many others didn't. Too many others still need our help. I helped make this blasphemy, and by Rauga I'll kill the bastard if it's the last thing I do. Anyway, that's enough out of me. I'll be heading back to the city to make my report. I suggest you do likewise. Interesting development. Alright, turning in 86, and on to 87.
Welcome back. Fordola's already given her account, and I'd like to hear yours too. So she almost turned into a beast herself. We'll have to take that into consideration before sending her into the field again. As far as the events in Alagana are concerned, the two of you did well. Despite the appearance of several beasts, you were able to prevent any further casualties. However, this serves to confirm that those with connections to the Crania Lupi should be considered at risk of turning. Over the years, many of them have drifted away from the larger settlements and have taken to living in secret. Others made their way to Uldar as refugees, including some individuals of interest. As such, we'll be working closely with the Immortal Flames to locate and offer support to those refugees in particular. In fact, I plan to make the journey there for an audience with the Sultana. Once my preparations are complete, perhaps you might accompany me. I'm sure she'll be glad to see you.
Yes, sir.
Lead the way!
Here to see Commander Alden, I take it? This way, please. He just walked that way.
Our request for an audience with the Sultana has been accepted. Before we depart, I'll share what we've learned since last we spoke. The blasphemy continues to elude us, all the while driving others to succumb to despair in turn, even with Alamegan and Uldan forces searching for the signs of the beast and more potential victims. We've yet to discern a pattern in the chaos. Nevertheless, if our blasphemy is like others, its behavior is likely dictated by the passions and regrets of the man it once was. Therefore, any information concerning him and the life he led may help us track it down before it strikes again.
We don't want people to shun the families of the skulls, any more than they already are, but the fact remains that the vast majority of the beasts have been born from them. They're the ones at greatest risk of turning without question. Fordola concerns me too. She came close to transforming once before, so I think it might be best if we keep her out of this after all. Seems like a waste of a capable soldier. She deserves a chance to make amends. That one.
I'm inclined to agree with Shroud. She was able to resist the transformation and has shown no signs of succumbing since then. If she wants to do her part, I say we let her.
If only I could go in her stead.
Actually, I was hoping you'd come with us to meet the Sultana. I believe she would benefit greatly from your understanding of the struggles of our people face. You'd gain from experience, too. While she's not the sort to brandish a sword and charge into battle, you'll soon discover she's a champion of her own arena. As brave as any warrior.
Oh,
I doubt she'd have much to learn from the likes of me, but it would be an honor to make her acquaintance.
Hey, look at you, man. You're going up in the world.
Arnvold and I will go on ahead and wait for you at the hustings strip. We'll see you anon. Yes, sir.
Quest accepted!
Yay!
We're gonna go see Nanamu. Nanamu, Nano. Namo.
yeah. Alright.
We return to Ulda.
Yummy.
Ah, seems we've met a new sprout. It's always good to see new players coming in. See the game getting more support that it rightfully deserves. Robon, my friend. Oh shit, I forgot to... Crap. Alright, too late. Wait, hold on. Can I do this? Nah, it's not gonna work. Crap. Okay, hold on. I made a whoopsie. Gotta log back in. 2 times in this stream alone, I've had to hop out of game and back in game. Although one of them wasn't by choice. This one's by choice. Meant to talk to Papa Shan before going. It's okay. I wouldn't have done that, by the way, if the queues were still like they were when Endwalker launched. Sorry, but I don't care what dialogue I fucking missed. I wouldn't be doing this if the queues were like back at like 2K, 4K, 30K fucking people hopping in game. No. Thank God it's eased out as much as it has. That way I can do stuff like this to make sure I don't miss anything fun or entertaining. There we are. Alright, sorry about that. It's the first time I've been back here since I discharged myself from the infirmary. Without telling anybody, mind, I must remember to stop by and offer my thanks. And an apology. Alright, Papa Shan, how you doing?
I only let her out of my sight for a moment.
That's all it takes. She went off again, didn't she?
Master Papashan was just telling us that Nanamo, or should I say Lady Lilira, has gone on another of her jaunts about the city.
Though it is not my place to question her grace's judgment, I do
wish she had consulted me before running off on her own. And perhaps I'm overthinking it, but it's unlike her to keep guests waiting.
If I may say so, sir, with blasphemies appearing throughout the land, it's a dangerous time to be going for a stroll.
I suspect that may be the very reason. She wishes to see herself how the citizenry fare in these trying times. Even so, it's downright reckless. We'll find her, though. No, I couldn't possibly allow such esteemed guests to...
Come now, we might be here on official business, but we're old friends. And as you remember, I have a knack for tracking down errant sultanos.
Some might say that knack is a rather charitable... I should be glad of the assistance.
I'll take a look around. Quizzing the locals will give me the opportunity to learn of recent goings-on in Ul'dah. Well then, there's no time like the present. Fear not, with me on the case, this will be over before you know it. It's been some time since I last combed these streets for young Lilara. As a matter of fact, Papa Sean and I would compete to see which of us could find her first. As I recall, most of the contests ended in my favor. The trick, you see, is to look past the disguise and pay attention to the gestures and mannerisms. The tiniest movement that might give her away. Come, I'll show you how it's done. Are we gonna do a mini game? Follow Robon's lead and try not to fall behind. She's fond of pursuing the stalls here. That was an accident. She's not here. Where could she be? What if she's been abducted? In one of these pots? I've never known her to be this elusive. That's odd. I've tried all her usual haunts, so unless she's hiding inside a barrel or something equally nonsensical, she must be elsewhere. Gods, why did she choose now of all times to run off? What if she's been abducted or run afoul of a beast? There's no need to assume the worst. We should keep looking. You're right, I know. But it's hard not to worry. Where could she be? Come to think of it, something Papa Sean said caught my ear. He thought Nanamo went on this excursion because of the emergence of the blasphemy and the beasts, to better understand how her people are coping with the situation. If so, she'd be driven to seek out the most desperate and destitute. Pearl Lane, then. Might I ask you to lead the way? I'll admit my ability to track missing persons may have been dulled somewhat.
I mean, you haven't had to track her down in a while, so.
Pearl Lane has ever been plagued with pickpockets and the like. I'll watch your back, so go ahead and give the search for Lilira your full attention. Roman's not company? Okay.
I'll start probably.
While it may not be immediately obvious, conditions here have improved considerably of late. Her Grace continues to support the rebuilding efforts in Garabania, which has led to the creation of jobs for many of the locals, both here and on the other side of Belsar's wall. In every society there are the haves and have-nots, and seldom is this divide more sorely felt than here in Ul'dah. Many of the young and able-bodied work for Lolorito as guards, though he earns more in an afternoon than most will in a lifetime.
Reverse escort mission? Well, it turned from a reverse escort to an escort, so it balanced out. Ah, there she is.
No, Lady Lilira.
Rabon, what are you doing here? And Shroud too. But I am glad to see you both. Our meeting is not yet due to commence for several bells. What is the meaning of this?
We were worried, and with good reason. These are far too dangerous times to be roaming about alone, Your Grace.
Some things never change, but I assure you, I am quite capable of looking after myself, in my own city of all places. More importantly, I wish to observe firsthand how the people have been faring of late, that I might be better prepared to participate in our discussion later. But I have finished, and you will be comforted to hear.
Then pray allow us to escort you to more amenable surroundings. Would you care to ride on my shoulder?
Certainly not. You have already attracted more than enough attention.
Was I hadn't started yet? I mean, there's plenty of quests, classes I haven't moved to unlock yet. Mainly because of lack of interest. I mean, I pretty much unlocked all the jobs I was interested in. Yeah, I got Dark Knight. I started Gunbreaker. Wasn't super happy with it. Reaper, Black Mage. Well, I still got a level Black Mage, but I pretty much unlocked all the classes that I had an interest in. Everything I haven't unlocked was just stuff I didn't really care about. I'll get around to doing it eventually, but I prioritize based on what I want to do, not just a completionism for completionism's sake.
I have a feeling the search would have taken rather longer if Roban had been left to his own devices.
I had every faith that you and the commander would find her. Hey, Jenny! Welcome to the stream.
I thank you all for making the journey here during these difficult times. And it is my pleasure to properly make your acquaintance. On behalf of the people of Eorzea, allow me to express my sincerest gratitude for your continued dedication to our cause.
With respect, Your Grace, I'm just a soldier. Was a soldier.
Still, I say, Commander Alden would not make such a distinction, and neither will I. You yet serve your people, and have provided solace to many of Alamigo's most vulnerable. If we are to deal with this threat, we must forearm ourselves with knowledge. I understand you come bearing information regarding the blasphemy and its victims.
We have a deed.
Proceeds to do full breakdown.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jenny. I hope her and your day improve.
Hence the need to locate families in Crania Lupi, members who have fled to Thanalan. There is no end to the struggles faced by Alamigan refugees, and those who once pledged allegiance to the Empire are no exception. But rest assured that irrespective of their pasts, I will be treated with an even hand. All will be afforded such aid as I am able to provide.
Magnanimous as always, Your Grace.
If I might be so bold, I have a question. What do you have in mind for those most at risk of undergoing the change?
I believe there is but one recourse. Earnest and open dialogue.
What? Talking as a solution? Bah!
While some are born into unimaginable wealth, others suffer great hardship and oppression. The circumstances of our birth are beyond our control. Our fate subject to the whims of the gods, some would argue. I once thought myself a prisoner in my fate, a figurehead, helpless to watch as my people starved, a powerless puppet. I wanted nothing more than to cast it all aside, to free us all, but failed from my naivety, and then was afforded a second chance for my privilege. The world is unfair, terribly so, but we have the power to push back against the inequalities and injustices, if not overcome them on blessed occasions, to love our neighbor and share in his life's bounties, to open our hearts and come together as one.
Truer words were never spoken.
But without the support of the people, such words are naught but vain platitudes. Thankfully, my recent attempts to make inroads with the monetarists have met with some success. Despite differing views on many subjects, we yet strive to find common ground.
Common ground. We've been pouring all of our efforts into aiding families with the Crania Lupi, and while it seemed to help to a degree, some have still succumbed and turned. Of course, they're not the only ones in danger. Alamegans everywhere, whether they sided with the Empire, fought for resistance, or were caught in the middle, they all suffered. They all wake up in the night at times, haunted by memories of death and despair. We know what can happen if those feelings are left to fester.
The legacy of the Imperial occupation will not soon be forgotten, but rather than seek to forget, mayhap it is necessary to remember, to acknowledge and accept the truth of it, that they may properly mourn those they have lost.
Aye, a remembrance.
I propose we hold a memorial service for those who died during the war. Everyone, no matter who they were and what they did. Let them be loved, let them be hated, but above all, let them be remembered. And in the remembering of the dead, in their honor and their sin, we the living of Alamigo may yet find a sliver of common ground.
It's a noble sentiment, but bringing together people who have reason to distrust one another and risk inflaming tensions could be a recipe for disaster. Then again, we can't keep ignoring the merit in the room and do nothing to address the situation. As long as we leave it to the individuals to decide whether or not to attend the ceremony, I think it's worth a try. Organizing an event on this scale will require a great deal of effort, so I offer my full support. Once you know what's needed, come to me, and we'll put the plan into action.
Obviously, some will balk at the idea, which is perfectly understandable, so I'll be listening to their opinions as well. After all, we want to be a ceremony that brings Alamegans together. And I was wondering, Your Grace, if I might ask about your approach to, well, talking to people, winning them over. As you can tell, I'm not a politician, so I would be grateful if any advice you could share with me. Why, I would be delighted to. As a matter of fact, I have a number of matters I wish to discuss with you.
And on that note, I suggest you and I return to Alamigo.
Right, so we go to the barn in the Alamigan Quarter. Tell her here.
I knew Arnvald would make a good impression, but he's outdone himself. Not only has he found a new avenue in life to explore, but he's taken to it with considerable aplomb. And while his proposed memorial ceremony is bound to have its detractors, I have faith that many will come around. Not all, but enough. I pray. For our part, we must stand at the ready for whatever may occur. I shall send word that if there are any developments.
There you are, Shad. Commander Alden has asked me to convey the following information. At present, we are looking into reports of missing relatives of the Crania Lupi. With the cooperation of the Silver Griffins, we're currently searching for any clues as to their whereabouts. Thanks to the concern and efforts of Ragenfried and the others, the general public has been willing to cooperate with our investigation, though many still harbor feelings of distrust for the collaborators and their kin. They've grown more receptive to our cause, on the whole. Arnvold's been making steady progress in preparation for the memorial ceremony. His plans to host a meeting between the various community leaders to go over the finer details. In fact, he was wondering whether you could assist in delivering the invitations. If you can spare the time, you should be able to find him in the Mercantile District. Anyway, that's all for now. I have a few matters to attend to. So, if you'll excuse me, duty calls. Thanks for coming. It should come as no surprise that planning a memorial ceremony for a whole bloody nation would keep a man busy. But by Ralga, this is something else. The hardest part's been gathering information on those who died in the war, especially when it comes to the skulls and other conscripts, and they're the ones we need to treat most carefully. If we don't acknowledge the crimes of our kin and all their painful truth, then we do a disservice to their victims, living and dead. But if we let people paint them as monsters who did monstrous things, things we believe we would never do, then we perpetrate a different but no less dangerous lie. As for preparing the event itself, I'll be holding a meeting with members of each of the settlements around Garabania. I've sent invitations to most of them already, but I was hoping you'd help me with the last two. There's Raz Nun in the Peering Stones, and Sarisha in Viranilia. I'll give you one for each. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they refused, considering how their people suffered at the hands of the skulls. But I hope we can remind them that deep down, we're all just people trying to survive, to protect our loved ones. We may even have driven the Empire from our lands, but as long as we hold fast to the grudges born of their attempts to divide us, and set us against one another, we'll never be free of their legacy of cruelty. With that in mind, I've included an account of my experiences with the Silver Griffins and the people I've met. Victims, collaborators, their friends, and their family. Men and women who lived through it all. Survivors. Even if they refuse to join the ceremony, at least they will now, and hopefully understand our reasons for holding the event. Granted, I've not had much practice in writing important letters, but I think they'll get the message. You being the one to deliver them will make a world of difference, I'm sure. Take care, won't you? Yes, sir. Alright, Peering Stones. The Thancred of the Scion B team. Thancred. I don't know if I'd agree with that. He's the Thancred of the group. I'd say he's a cross between Thancred and Urianger. Because he's got Urianger's more subtle good nature to him. Not that Thancred has a bad nature, but the type of good nature is a bit different. Even then, if we're going based on his role, though, I'd say it's closer to Urianger, based on how he's accumulating, he's trying to set events in order, he's trying to do the documentation and paperwork kind of thing. That's kind of a mix of things, really. He's kind of filling multiple niches, I'd say. But if we're going based on that, he's actually probably closer to Brain. Names always so many to remember. And this is one I've heard so much, though, so I should remember it. And it was on the tip of my tongue, and now it's gone. Damn it. Greetings, friend. It has been too long since last we spoke. What brings you to my village? Oh, what's this thing? So the rumours are true. I need not read this letter in full to know its contents. I understand that Ragenfried's volunteers are working to support the families of those lost in the war, which few deny is a worthy cause, but to include the relatives of the Crania Lupi. The skulls watched the Empire slay us in our thousands, and still they turned their cloaks and fought for our oppressors. And you would ask us to mourn the deaths of these curs alongside their victims?
To dismiss it out of hand would be discourteous. Very well.
Family.
As known, my tribe is my family, and I know all too well the responsibility that brings. I would do anything to protect them. Anything. Loyalty, pride, conscience, my very soul. All are meaningless if I cannot ensure the safety of those I love. I suspected some scholars had been faced with the selfsame choice, but to see how their kin suffered, I cannot say I do not understand, though I wish I did not. Their crimes will never be forgiven. They cannot be. But I and any others who are willing can offer our prayers for these tortured souls and men they could have been. I accept the invitation, not on behalf of the M tribe, but as Imran's Noon. Though I will put the question to my people that they may decide for themselves. I am also eager to make the acquaintance of the person who wrote this letter. He is not wont to turn a blind eye to the bitter truth, painful though it is to confront. The meeting will be a perfect opportunity to take his measure. Here we are.
Welcome to what we owe the pleasure of your visit.
There you are.
Then it is as I suspected. There have been rumors that such a ceremony would take place. Although you have traveled far to make this invitation, I must decline. We cannot mourn the loss of the fallen of the Crania Lupi are to be counted among them. Like the Kiliana, they chose to aid the Gallian oppressors, killing and bleeding for those who would pillage our lands. Cowards and traitors all. And are we to assume the Kaliana, who died fighting for the Empire, will be honored as well? If so, that is all the more reason for us to refuse. If you insist. No one has spared suffering for the occupation. Not the resistance, not the collaborators, and not the families of both. No one. That so many would die in shame and ignominy. Having sold their souls only to lose everything is a tragedy and a lesson. If they are forgotten, then the lesson of their folly is forgotten. For the sake of this land we call home, I will join you in remembrance and implore my people to do the same. In mourning, may we strengthen our ties with our neighbors as well. By together facing our past, we can build the foundation for lasting peace and prosperity. It would be my honor to attend the proposed meeting, and I look forward to personally thanking your friend Arenvold for his dedication, and my peers have much to learn from the example he has set.
Good on Arnvold.
Honestly, the development for Arnvold here is fantastic. Alright, Arnvold. Good news, my man.
So how did you fare in the finishes?
Pretty good, all things considered.
They said that about me? It's rare for me to get such glowing praise, especially from renowned leaders like the Sarisha and the Mran's Nun. More importantly, though, they agreed to attend the meeting, and I've got you to thank for that. After all, I imagine it's hard to turn down an invitation when it's hand-delivered by the Warrior of Light himself. Before I get ahead of myself, though, I must remember that this is only the beginning. Bringing everyone together is one thing. Coming to an agreement on an extremely divisive issue is a different kettle of fish entirely. As Her Grace was quick to point out, but as she's taught me, if our cause is just and our hearts are true, those of like mind will surely answer the call. And answer if they answer it they have. But there are bound to be differences of opinion. I'm sure there's nothing we can't overcome if we put our minds to it. To that end, I was hoping you could join us. If you've the time to spare, there are still a few loose ends in Raggedfried, and I need to tie up beforehand. So we'll meet you in the palace as soon as we can. Just having you there might make a world of difference. Aye, aye.
Alphinaud rubbed off on Arnvold, and vice versa. Yeah, I'd say. See, that's the benefit of like getting to know different types of people throughout your life, right? You learn things from them, they learn things from you. That's kind of like the whole idea of friendship, really. Well, friendship is a very complex thing, but that's part of the idea of friendship is coming together, finding people with like minds, but also finding people who differ from yourself enough that the two of you can kind of see the world, look at it together, and come up with solutions and ideas. And learn things from one another. That's the part of the beauty of getting to know new people. Don't get me wrong, sometimes you're gonna hear opinions and ideas that are absolutely fucking stupid. Sometimes it'll sound downright evil, but part of meeting different people is for all the good opinions and good advices and good anything that you're gonna come across, you're just as likely to come across some less than savory folks. But it's all part of getting to know people. Got the good, you got the bad, and you got the middling. If you're the meeting, yes. Yep, let me in. Let me in!
So while we all agreed upon the importance of the ceremony, we recognized that the inclusion of the Crenia Lupi will be distressing for many. I too lost family at their hands, and I would never ask others to forgive and forget. But for all their crimes, they were Alamegans, just like us. None made the decision to side with Garlemald lightly.
They had a choice, and they chose to betray us. Who among us have not made difficult choices of kith and kin? And do not forget that Fordola chose to stand between us and a primal.
What does that have to do with it?
Brothers and sisters, arguing will avail us not. The fate of Alamigo rests on...
I love this shot right here. Oh, I love this shot. That's one.
On those of every man, woman, and child that calls these lands home. To uphold our honor, to strive for prosperity. To protect our loved ones, we all know the weight of these responsibilities. 'Twas that selfsame weight which drove many of our people to serve our oppressors, misguided as it was. And though they chose a different, unconscionable path, in the end we all wanted the same thing. to deliver our families from prosecution, and they might live to see one more day, because another day in shame and self-hatred was still better than none at all. The regretful dead are survived by their despair, a despair which threatens to drag us all into the abyss, and where there is no escape. Know that it surely will if we welcome it into our hearts, out of disdain for those we cannot forgive. But we Alamegans will not be so easily defeated. We will stand united and conquer this menace. Every Alamegan who fought and died did so in the hopes that one day we would be free. And we are free. We are free. By the blood of our fallen brothers and sisters, we are free. Free to lock away the pain and pretend it has no power over us, until it festers and takes us in our beds, and free to lay it bare and let it breathe, to acknowledge and to mourn our people at their best and their worst. The past is ours to bear, for all of it, for ourselves and our future generations, so that they needn't suffer like we did. Let us make Alamego a nation where no man is left behind, where he can make all the wrong choices and still be afforded the chance to make a right one. I'm liking this development. Alright, Turban.
That went better than any of us could have hoped for. You have my gratitude for your part in the proceedings, but we both know who the real hero of the day was.
Indeed we do.
This was all Arenvald's idea, and it was his words that finally won over the naysayers. Now that we have the community leaders on our side, we should have much easier time convincing the rest of the citizenry. Of course, holding the ceremony is by no means our final objective. No matter what we say, some will refuse. Some will refuse to attend, and it is my hope, however, that it will still serve to provide a measure of closure for us all, and to ease the plight of the vulnerable and ostracized. Speaking of which, we will recall the incident with Fordola in Alagana. The young girl she saved, and her mother wished to thank her personally. Considering what happened last time, though, I have reservations. It would be a valuable opportunity to present a former skull in a more positive light. On the other hand, I don't need to tell you how unpredictable she can be, and that's before taking her echo into consideration. But that's a conversation for another day. Go and get some rest. You've earned it. The blasphemy hunter may seek calm, collect it. Okay. Alright.
Something terrible has happened.
Uh-oh.
It's Fordola. She's escaped. She was accompanying a squadron out on a training exercise. One month she was there, and the next she was gone. I didn't think much of it at the time, but she's been acting strangely ever since she went to meet with the mother and child. You know, the ones who wanted to thank her for saving the girl's life. When I told Commander Alden about it, he went charging off to Alagana to ask them if they have any idea where Fordola might be. I thought about going after them, but when I heard you were headed this way, I reckoned it'd be better to send you in my stead. Godspeed, Shroud.
Translation. I'm handing this off to somebody else. That was cool. It was great seeing him get to find a place after he was down, after he was injured. Yes, it is. And this does make a good point to, even if you may physically have been debilitated, that doesn't mean you've lost your purpose or usefulness. You just gotta find a new one. And he's certainly found one and taken to it in spades. Not gonna lie, I kinda ship him and Fordola together, just saying. But that's me.
Gods be good. What is she thinking?
I know you. You're friends with the brave lady, aren't you? Have we done something wrong?
We'll see now, won't we?
Shroud, I was expecting to see you here. You've heard what's happened then? Just as Fordola was beginning to earn our trust, she's given us the slip. As you may know, she wears a choker that is designed to do exactly that if its enchantment is triggered. It's supposed to prevent her from escaping. Yeah, I remember, it's supposed to blow up, if I recall correctly. If I were to give the order, she would be dead within moments. She knows that. She took the risk anyway, so I have to believe she has a good reason. That's what we're looking into. That's what we're looking into now. We were hoping Clarel and young Lily here could shed some light on the matter.
We'd like to ask you about your conversation with Fordola, if we may. Yes, of course. I know she's the butcher, or was at least, but it didn't seem right to go without thanking her. That's why I requested the meeting, to express my gratitude and apologies. She was quiet at first, just stood there as we spoke, as if she weren't even listening. And then I mentioned the blasphemy, and she looked at Lily, and all of a sudden clutched her own head and cried out in agony.
The echo.
Can you remember what you were thinking about at the time? A man, the one I saw in the city. What? Who? Did he have something to do with all those people panicking?
Oh, she saw the original person who... Oh, okay.
I think he did. When I was waiting for you, I saw him. He was by himself. He looked poorly, so I asked if he was alright, and he said yes, he had a nice smile. He got up and started walking, but then...
Okay.
He was shouting and screaming. I was so frightened I didn't want to talk about it, not even to Mum. I wish you'd said something sooner. I'm sorry, Poppet. This is all my fault for leaving you on your own.
The man who turned into a blasphemy, I'd wager. The girl saw him, which means Fordola has now seen him too.
There was one other thing. When Fordola was having her funny turn, she said something. Charlie. No, Charlotte? I think. Yes, that was it.
Ring any bells?
Can't say it does, but if he has anything to do with the skulls, the silver griffins should have some information on him.
We'd best have a word with Wagenfried then. You've both been very helpful. I'd also like to thank you for being so kind to Fordola. She may not have said it, but I'm sure it meant a lot to her.
I have a couple more things I'd like to ask, so I'll catch up with you later.
I'm back. Okay. Dragonfried, I must sprechen Sie with you.
Charlotte? Charlotte, you say? Yes, that name came up during our recent investigations. As I recall, he served under the Viceroy during the occupation, and his whereabouts is currently unknown. had an older brother named Ansfrid, one of the Crania Lupi, which would give him a connection to Fordola. Is there anyone who can tell us more about him?
Oh no, that was... Fuck, it was wrong. I saw the R and I just assumed it was still Ragnfried.
Yes, an uncle, who we recently helped find employment here in Alagana. He's actually the only one who asked us to look for Charlotte. You'll most likely find him working at the Sleeping Stones. As it happens, I was planning to bring him something to eat. I'll join you there shortly.
It says that Arnvold and Fordola featured in the level 80 Summoner Quest. Oh, neat. I'll get to see that eventually. Alright.
Perhaps we should ask what he looks like.
Still looking, eh? That's him over there.
Ah.
I hope we're not interrupting.
No, of course not. It's good to see you, Ragnfried. My word, the Bull of Alamigo and the champion of the Alliance will bring such esteemed guests to our humble quarry. At ease, my good fellow. We merely wish to ask you about your nephew. Charlotte? You found him? No luck then. Is there anything else you...
Is there anything else you can tell us? More about his childhood, perhaps?
Wasn't much of one, I'm afraid. Poor boy's life was ruined long before he had any say in the matter. His parents and I swore allegiance to Garlemald to secure ourselves and our kin citizenship. For all the good it did us here, living amongst our countrymen who treated us as pariahs. Took its toll on him and his brother, to be spat on as traitors by association. One thing led to another, and Ansfried, together with most of his friends, joined the Imperial Army. That's how it started, you know. The Crania Lupi, Gaius's loyal little pups. Do you remember the names of these friends? Yes, they had quite a reputation growing up. There was Emmeline, Rudolph, and that angry little girl who grew up to become the butcher herself, Fordola. Charlotte was part of their group too, yes? But from what we've heard, he chose not to become a soldier. Wouldn't have lasted a day in training, he knew that better than anyone, of course. Not that it helped him to feel any less guilty for turning his back on the others. He blamed himself for their deaths, for not stopping them. When he had the chance. For not being strong enough to fight by their side. Maybe save them, maybe not. But he wasn't there, and he wished he had been. Then one day, he was gone. Wherever he is, I hope he's safe and well.
So do we. Thank you. The information you've shared should prove useful. And for you, I've brought some food. Why don't you call it a day and go and enjoy it with your family? Let him have the peace for now. Back to Alagana.
Okay. I think I see where this is going. I think. So out of that group. Fordola is tracking down some old friends. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. I see the puzzle pieces coming together, but I'm not sure I have the right idea what the puzzle will look like yet. I don't know.
So not only was his brother a member of the Skulls, but Charlotte himself was a childhood friend of Fordola's. Yeah. Until he refused the support of the Silver Griffins as well. He's been trying to make his own way for some time now. His brother and his friend died at Specula Imperatoris. Save for Fordola, and the gods only know how he felt about her after that.
Or how Fordola felt about Charlotte after seeing Lily's memory of him transforming into a blasphemy. Brother of a man she killed and a childhood friend besides. She thinks she's responsible for this. That's why she ran, to kill the beast.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm worried about her.
Fordola is a survivor and an outcast herself. Exactly the sort of person the Silver Griffins are trying to support. You've seen for yourself the sacrifices she's willing to make, and if you can learn to feel sympathy for her, maybe others can too.
I think we have enough information for the time being. Let's return to the city to plan our next move.
Aye, aye.
So I'm assuming this role quest is going to end in a very similar way to the DPS one. The physical DPS one. I think they're all probably going to end with one big fight with a particularly unique blasphemy that we learn the backstory about over the course of the missions. That seems to be the trend. I'm liking this one's this one so far, though, is a lot more... I like this one a lot more so far than the DPS one, because as cool as it was to learn more about Merlewib, my faction queen, learning more about Arenvold... well, not learning more, seeing the development of Arenvold and Fordola a little bit. I do like that a lot.
I've assigned a few of my soldiers to assist the Silver Griffins in investigating Charlotte's background. With luck, we'll find him quickly, and then we can prepare for what must come later. We're all but certain that Charlotte's the one who's transformed into a blasphemy, and so there's naught to be done but to put him out of his misery. As for Fordola, I put Monago and her troops in charge of tracking her. Once they've found her, they have my permission to lend whatever support they deem necessary. If it comes to it, I'd ask you to join the search. Until such time, I ask that you take this opportunity to rest.
Joke's on you.
Ah, it's food. Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Thank goodness you're here. Commander Alden needs to see you right away. Follow me.
Lead the way.
Alright. He's got the helmet on. It's the final battle between us and this blasphemy.
Gotta help out Fordola. Keep it contained until I arrive. But do not engage if you can help it. Understood?
That was Monago. Her unit has found Fordola, or rather, she has found them.
In fact, I have Fordola on the search party's link pearl. She wants a word with you.
Hello.
This is urgent, so be quiet and listen. The blasphemy in my friend is right in front of us. I tracked him down, and when he spotted me, he started heading towards Specula Imperatoris. Look, Shroud, I need your help.
Well, sure.
Charlotte's not. He never wanted to hurt anyone, but this things he's become is... I can't leave him like this. I've got to stop him, whatever it takes.
She ain't gonna listen to that even if I said it. I'm on my way.
I owe you. You owe me 7.
At this point.
This is Minago. Can you hear me? We've got the blasphemy surround. Ugh, it's on the move! Get ahead of it, but maintain distance. We need to... Fordola, what are you doing? Fordola! Fordola!
There's no time to waste. They need our help.
Indeed they do. Alright, I'm pumped. Let's do this. Time to kill us a blasphemy and redeem a soul. Probably multiple.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a duty. I should have figured. Radiata and Alagiri are not that far from Specula Imperatoris. If we let the blasphemy slip through our fingers, it doesn't bear thinking about. And while Fordola is determined to slay it by her own hand, we can't allow her recklessness to put the lives of others in jeopardy. The time has come for action. Are you ready?
Yep. Let's do this thing.
Ooh, I like the color. Hold the line for as long as you can. Commander Alden in the Warrior of Light will be here any moment. Stay strong.
Boom. How is a man with one arm so badass?
'Cause it's Roban.
You've done well. Leave the rest to us.
The more at first I really didn't like his helmet, but the more I look at it, the more I actually do.
Yes, sir. Get the injured to safety.
Coward! Coward! Traitor to them, to everyone.
Man, it talks. Okay then. Flashback time! Ah.
Oh, was there... I wish there was another way.
So do I, but fighting's the only thing I'm good at. Makes me wonder how I ended up with such a clever brother.
Too clever for my own good, maybe. Just the thought of going into battle. About getting hurt. About having to hurt other people.
He's a bleeding arse, Charlotte. Sooner befriend a fly than shoot away, much less kill it.
I could kill it if I wanted. I could. But you don't, and there's no shame in that. Leave the soldier into us. Us, Charlotte. We'll show the Guardians what we're capable of. Get the power and respect we deserve. And then, things will change. They will. You'll see. We found a place for ourselves, and you'll find yours soon enough. Alright, that'll do. Everyone's who's enlisted, meet back here tomorrow.
Oof. Ah, sorry, that thud made my knee just do a spasm.
In the end, what good did I do? They gave everything they had to give, while I hid like a rat waiting for the storm to pass. Coward, coward, coward! Yeah!
Transforms.
Yeah.
Coward, coward. Better dead, better forgotten.
It's not your fault, Charlotte. It's not. You didn't do anything wrong, and I'm the coward. The traitor, the butcher. I'll always be the butcher. Don't you dare, Fordola! You don't get to end it. You don't get to give up. I won't let you. You have a lifetime to make amends and atone, to become something more than you were. But if you die here, you're everything they say, everything you believe. Is that what you want?
She's not going anywhere.
Okay, there's okay, come on, okay, hold up. When they say the term pull up, I'm sorry, but this works on too many levels. He literally just pulled up. Like car style, like sup. Like my wheels. I know this is a very serious situation, but I just love how they did that. Like they even had like oh no, he's in the middle of a battle. Why the fuck are you here? Like, this is why I ship them. He's like, yeah, I'm completely useless from the waist down, but you know what? I'm going to support my boo.
Arnvold, why are you here?
There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I can't fight by your side, but I can still cheer you on. I've seen your past, Charlotte. How you were left behind while your friends rushed into battle. It's bloody hard, isn't it? Wanting to do something so desperately with every fiber of your being, knowing that you should. Should be able to... You should, but you can't. So you find another way to support them. Your way. You did that too, didn't you? You were there for them, even if it didn't feel like it. But you were. Charlotte, you were. As a friend of mine once said, not all heroes are forged in the fires of battle. The history of Alamigo is written in blood. While we cannot change the past, we can change the future. And for that, we must all play our part. All of us.
Let's grant Charlotte the peace he deserves. You too, $4. As fate, Emmeline, one day we'll be together again, but not yet. You'd never hurt anyone, Charlotte. That's not who you are. You'll be remembered as the kind soul you always were.
Blasphemy, Charlotte.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe it's Charlie. Not like that would make more sense if the confusion before was Charlie or yeah, it's probably Charlie.
We're counting on you.
Yeah, don't worry. I got your back. Let's do this thing. Wha! Yeah!
Alright. As one!
Problem is, I can't. I have to collect them manually. Ah, come on. Fuck. Get regen on him. Doing everybody. I thought I was gonna hit her with an attack. I mean, it did, but not to the same degree I thought. I mean, the good thing Charlet is not very built for the whole... Uh-oh. Get coming. Probably should have gone on the same one as them. Crap. Oh wait, was that scripted? Was I supposed to get it? Goddamn, Robon!
Show them what we're made of!
Crap. Ah, damn it. Oh, shit. Okay. My bad. But at least now I know it's mechanics, so we can do that again. Yeah, normal. Yeah. That was the trial run. Yeah, we can skip that. Alright, now that I know it's mechanics, I think I can work around it. Alright, so, preemptively...
As one!
The 2... Regen... Spam. Ah! I thought I was prepared for that one. Thank you, robot.
Show them what we're made of!
Prepared this time. For sure. Nope, didn't time it right. Prepare myself.
Raw Tizona!
Try this!
Nice.
There we go.
Yeah, so far this is definitely my favorite one.
Thank you. I mean it.
Oh, I forgot to read that out loud. I just read it in my mind.
Ah, have you now?
Apologies for a brief second. I forgot I was streaming.
We put down the last remaining beast spawned from by the blasphemy. 'Tis a pity that we could do naught for those who turned. But that we were able to prevent further casualties is nothing short of a miracle. It's astonishing, too, looking back at Charlie's case. Although his existence spurred others to transform, he never attacked any settlements or travelers. Even when he underwent the change in the middle of a crowded street, those who were present escaped the minor injuries at worst. I think that deep down, his compassion is what kept the raging blasphemy at bay. The only time he emerged from hiding was to journey to a place where his brother died. Aye, it's clear he still retains some semblance of his former self. Another victim of the Empire's terrible legacy, along with his friends and so many others. But the Crania Lupi wasn't the creation of the Imperials alone. Many of those youths sought to place with them because they were denied one with us. That's why the memorial ceremony is so important. It's our chance to face our past together, to give them in death what we couldn't in life, to deny anyone a place in memory, even if it hurts or makes us feel ashamed.
You'll be attending, won't you?
I haven't been ordered to, so I suppose not.
In light of your leal service, Talamigo, I intend to have the conditions by which you are bound eased. Providing I am able to obtain approval, you will be granted a degree of freedom. At the very least, we should have no need for that choker.
There'll be no objections from me. You've done well.
Yeah, smirk, damn it.
If I didn't know you better, I'd think you were smiling.
Totally is.
Well, I, for one, couldn't be happier her efforts are being recognized. It gives me that much more motivation to continue my work with the Silver Griffins and bring the people of Alamigo closer together. Got to do my best to keep up with a certain little lordling, eh?
Alphanu, my boy. He's left quite the wake behind him, hasn't he?
I think we've done enough for one day. Time we got some rest.
Ooh, most definitely.
Allow me, as both the Guardian of Alamigo and as your sworn comrade, to express my thanks for coming to our aid in these desperate times. No matter what manner of disaster may befall us, your presence alone is enough to keep the flame of hope burning bright. Even someone on the very precipice of despair, such as Fordola, can find salvation in your guiding light.
Lean on a bit thick, aren't you? I kind of want to do that one. Heavens forbid people would stop throwing themselves in harm's way at every opportunity. You're suddenly given immortal flame yourself. Kind of want to say the second one. Kind of. Especially with how this last week has been going. Heavens forbid.
Put you healers out of a job? Not a chance. Though in all seriousness, we could all stand for fewer mistakes. Sorry, fewer risks. In any case, it's safe to say we've all benefited enormously from your sterling work here. We couldn't ask for a better healer or a better friend.
No, you could. I got 2 on speed dial.
Our ambassador in Radzat Han will be relieved to learn of our successes here. If you happen to cross paths, give him my regards, would you?
Oh my fucking god. Really?
Why? Just people are so. Alright, let's turn this bad boy in.
I'm not responding. I'm not gonna bother. There's only so many times I can repeat myself before I just get sick of it, so I'm just not gonna repeat myself. I'm just gonna ignore it. Better way to go about it. Maybe it'll stop if I ignore it. Greetings. How goes it, Alamigo? Eliminating blasphemy is helping organize a memorial ceremony. They've certainly kept you busy. A fine example of going above and beyond the call of duty. I'll be sure to send word of your exploits to Ul'dah. Wait till the Sultana hears about this. Her Grace will not be the only one to welcome this news. On behalf of the Grand Company of Eorzea and our allies, allow me to express my most heartfelt gratitude. Why, thank you. Thank you for the materia, my good man. Much appreciated. You can now dye it. Yay, I can dye it now. I'm not sure what I would dye it, though. It's kind of the color I like. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Alright. So, we wrapped up that role quest. Well, my dogs are barking. Yay. Now I will press. Before I forget. There we go. Alright. So. Now I gotta figure out what the hell Sage is. Actually, I'm kind of double thinking about it. I don't know if I want to bother with another healer. Well, people say it's actually more of a DPS anyway. Let's go see. Faggot. At the very least, maybe people will stop bitching and moaning about me playing White Mage. One upside's got to come out of it, I'm sure. Okay. So, repair. Anything I need to repair? Yes. There we go. Alright, now where the fuck is White Mage? That's White Mage. Sage. Sage! Sage green, what? Oh, there's a software. Okay, note to self: don't type in Sage first. There you go. All right, Sage. Where the fuck do I go to unlock it? Oh, it's in Limsa. Okay, fitting. Type over to Limsa, Liminza, Linosia, Lodex.
There we go.
There we go. Whew. Ugh. Ah, God. Ugh. Almost feels like I'm gonna pop my bones. Okay. So, where is it? Sage. Oh, right there. Well, that makes that easy. Right down the way. Probably don't have gear that's good for it, but hopefully they give you that. I mean, Reaper did, so I'm assuming this one. Sage's path. Alrighty then. Limsa Laminsa, former disreputable haven for pirates, now one of the realm's finest city-states, boasting a peerless shipping industry and an enviable culinary culture. Oh, how it bustles! The terms did not lie. Oh, she has two different eye colors. Nice. Well, here I am, Mother, in a faraway Eorzea. I will complete this mission. Just you watch. In your noble name, and as first of my class, I will succeed. And afterwards, perhaps I shall invite our esteemed alumna Alizé for tea at the Bismarck. It'll be an envy of everyone. Ah, okay. Ah! My apologies, good sir. I failed to notice you. I am Lala Jinjal, a native of Sharlayan. I gathered. By your appearance, I assume you are an adventurer? Are you perchance well traveled in the Eorzea? So you are. How very fortuitous. And Shroud is your name, you say? I'd swear I heard it somewhere before. In any event, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. As for myself, I am an operative on a mission with from the Forum, our nation's governing body. This being my first time in Eorzea, I studied as best I could in preparation, but there is no substitute for a local's knowledge. Thus did I intend to hire an adventurer like yourself to serve as my escort. The mission is the pursuit and capture of fugitives, and thus it will entail some danger, but you appear to be no stranger to such. Might you be willing to assist me in this endeavor?
I would be so willing.
I'd be glad to give you the grand tour. Certainly, if the reward is satisfied. Nah. Wonderful. While I have some skill with a blade, I can fend for myself. I shall be glad of your capable company. Now then, ere I divulge the particulars of my mission, we should head somewhere more private, perhaps outside the city. By the Zephyr Gate? Alright, me. Quest accepted. And soon I shall fully unlock Sage. Alright, to the Zephyr Gate. Oh, literally just outside the city. Oh well, guess we're walking. Ah, there she is. Hello.
Forgive me if I seem overly cautious, but this mission is highly confidential. Were the wrong people to learn of it, my superiors would give me an earful.
So you trust the first adventurer that walks up behind you?
But I believe we may speak freely here. So, permit me to brief you on the details. As I mentioned, I am on the trail of fugitives, criminals who fled Charlian and came to these shores. Extremely dangerous individuals who have enhanced themselves via forbidden means which have rendered them unsound of mind. While in a state of delirium, one of their compatriots even committed murder. He died thereafter due to the side effects of his enhancement. But 3 others remain at large and pose a threat to innocence. Their leader, Aviera Mel, is also alleged to have stolen valuable technological secrets. By way of reference material, I have bought this Soul's Crystal. Ow! It's hot! It's hot! What in the world? I've never known a Soul Crystal give off such heat before.
They need to pill patience. Like you need to pill patience. Like just put it right in a prescribable medication. That way, just down that shit like fucking Tic Tacs.
It's finally cooled down, but what could have triggered that intense reaction? Not even in the studio did I ever witness such a thing, but maybe it was you? The technological secrets which were stolen were contained in a similar crystal. This particular sample has been loaned to me by a healing institute in Charlian. Tell me, Shroud, in the course of your adventures, have you ever fervently wished to save someone? Quite a few times. But failed to do so despite your best efforts, and afterwards cursed your own powerlessness. Yeah.
Let's call it tranquilizer. Unfortunately, I don't think that's enough.
Forgive me if my question was indelicate, but there can be no doubt the soul crystal resonated with that desire within you. When I received the crystal, I was told that, should it respond in this manner to my Eosian collaborator, I should entrust it to them, for the knowledge it imparts, the knowledge of that word, would surely avail me in my mission. Developed at the studium, Sumanut, that is a discipline which combines the wisdom of medicine, atheology, and sorcery, hence the weird name, and those who have mastered it are called sages. Okay. Through medicine, a sage grasps the workings of the flesh. Through atheology, he unlocks the secret of the soul, and through sorcery, he learns to manipulate the two. Thus trained, a sage has the ability to both strengthen and heal. Yet by the same token, he is also capable of the opposite, of causing harm. I'm good at the latter, not the former. Not just anyone can take up the sage's art. No, you must be prepared to hold the lives of others in one's hands. Are you willing to bear such a burden, Shroud? If you are, and would swear to use the art for good, then I shall entrust this soul crystal to you. Have you come to a decision? Yes, I have. Give me. Then I will bear witness to your pledge. Do you swear to use the sage's art for good, and to wield its power to the best of your judgment and ability? Sure. Excellent. Chosen as you are by the crystal, I had faith that you would rise to the occasion. When those around you cry out for succor, the crystal shall be your ally, for it bears the wisdom of sages past and their hopes of the future. By hearkening to their whispers and following in their footsteps, you will come to embody those hopes, to save and change countless lives. Lest you worry how you will learn the art, I can provide guidance, to an extent. In any case, during my time at the studium, I had the occasion to study that word. You see, while I wasn't gifted in spellcraft and came to favor steel, I can remember the lessons, and will share what I know. Together with the soul crystal, I shall provide you with a set of sage's garments. So go on, take up your crystal and don your attire, and we shall begin your training. Indeed. Great. Now I've got to make another gear set. Bloody hell. Alright, where are you? Check. Why, hello. Oh wait, that's right, I didn't open the box yet. There we go. Now the proper attire. Oh, jeez. Alright. No, not. HUD layout. Just gauge. Put that there. I don't know what that's for. We'll find out. Cool. Sage. Alright. Adderskull gauge. The Adderskull gauge indicates accumulated stacks of Adderskull, which are restored automatically over time. Adderskull can be consumed to execute actions such as Drukoli and Caracoli. These words, man. Acquired at level 50. The gauge... Oh, start at level 70, so... The gauge builds stacks of Addersting when the barrier effect of your Eucrasian diagnosis... These fucking words today. It's completely absorbed. Addersting stacks can be used to execute actions such as Toxicon and Toxicon 2. Okay. Eucrasia, when active, can be used to enhance the effects of dosis, diagnosis, and prognosis. You can view the job gauge description at any time. I'm sure that's going to be a pleasant read. At any time from the actions and traits menu. Okay. Alright. Dosis deals. Alright, so that's basic damage. That's a basic heal. Okay, so that's magic attacks, repose. So it's own HP. Alright, so that's
An AoE, I can leave that right there. Esuna, leaving that where it is. Resurrects target, okay. That's my revive skill. Get rid of that shit. Let's see here. Alright, so that's the shield. Swift casting tab. Alright. So that's AoE. That's leaving what it says. Put that in 4. You rush to a target. Okay. Icarus. I'm gonna leave that as shift W then. Gradually restores 1 HP. Okay, so. So this is a heal over time. Okay, I'll put that in 2. Augments turn offensive and healing magic actions. Doses is upgraded to... Okay, this is probably going to be an important ability, so I'll put that in T. Or I won't put that in Shift D. I'll only read the others before I do that. Phlegma. Deals unexpected damage to target and all enemies. Okay, so that's okay, so that's kind of like a size. So I'll put that in the same spot I put a size. Didn't even mean to do that. So or oh no, it's like a launch attack. So maybe I can leave that there. Oh no, Pepsis is ironically more like a size. Okay. Gradually restores own HP and the HP of all. Wait. Physis 2. What's Physis 1? Yeah, whatever. Okay, that's a buff. I can leave that 3. Shield. Resurrect. What's these? Restores target's HP. Okay. So, I wonder if there's a Benediction-esque spell that does like a full health recharge. Probably the thing with the longest cast time. Oh, there's another barrier ability. Put in Shift A. Where's my oh shit button heal? Or is there not no shit button heal? Source on okay. Okay, that's just in the cure. That's just an insta-heal. Where'd I put it, though? I don't know, I'd probably put... Deals unexpected damage to target on enemies nearby. There's gonna be some trial and error with this, I'm gonna tell you that right now. There, maybe? Yeah, we'll do that. Because I usually like to keep rescue on Shift A. Increases healing magic. Okay, and this is AoE buff to healing. Which can go... There. I might switch those. There you go. Okay. So yeah, like I said, plenty of trial and error with this.
We'll see. We'll see. I'll definitely look up. I'll look up. Hold on, let me fix my shoulder. I'll probably look up a guide. This is just what I'm temporarily running just by reading the tooltips. All right.
You. Neato. I see the crystal has imparted to you its knowledge. As expected. Excellent. You are ready to embark on your training, and naturally it begins with the armaments. A set of short staves known as nuliths. Nuliths trace their roots to healers of Eld, who employed naturally occurring objects of power known as Adder Stones. These stones, which harbor spiritual energy, were placed around the sick and ailing to create an etheric confluence through which the healer channeled his magics. From this primitive design, Nuliths gradually evolved into their present form. While their construction is far more sophisticated, the basic principle remains unchanged. In practice, Sage wields Nuliths as an extension of his mind, sending them darting around the air to weave the arcane patterns through which he unleashed advanced magics. If they sound difficult to wield, well, it is because they are. Even the Studium's most talented require years of training to become proficient. But you have an advantage that transcends talent. The crystal has chosen you. With its knowledge, the technique will come more naturally to you than others. Now, as much as I would like to have you try your hand with Nuliths at once, I have just received promising intelligence from Command. Apparently, our fugitives have taken themselves to Idleshire, in the Javanian hinterlands. Let's make our way there at once.
To Idleshire.
Pepsis is pretty weak, to be honest.
Oh, it is?
Where is that? Oh, if it's a last resort button, I'll put it there. Actually, shit. I forget it removes it from my bar every time. Where are we? There it is. There's my limit break. Alright, so shift 5. That's where I had it, right? Yeah. I know, I think I actually equipped it there. That shift 5. There we go. Okay. There we go. Alright. Oh yeah, before I forget as well. My back. Create a new gear set. There we are. Go to my macros. Real quick. Switch here, drag over there, and boom. There we go. New gear set unlocked. Now, back on track. Jakul is the only closest thing to an oh shit heal. Ah, that sucks. Oh well. If that's the case, I'll switch those. I always just keep my oh shit heal on shift Q. Even if it's a terrible oh shit heal. So this is Idleshire. The tales do not do the place justice. Truly impressive what the goblins and their fellow scavengers have managed to build upon the ruins of our colony. Ahem. To the task at hand. As I mentioned before, we have reason to believe that the fugitives have recently passed through this town, and may even still be here. For the sake of efficiency, I suggest we split up and search. I will see to the town south, if you could tend to the north. But of course. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember. I unequipped my damn mount. Well, hold on. I haven't ridden this one at all. Might as well. Get here!
Did you hear that?
Stairs and Sirius.
That man is in trouble.
Look at me. When I'm talking to you.
Well, that was mean. Stop this at once. A sage's barrier? Yeah, that was nice of him. Loifa.
Too many eyes and ears. We'd best leave. I don't know who you are, and I don't care. Do not get in our way again. You've been warned.
Oh, wait! Interesting. Something behests me to believe that they have a grudge.
Thank you! I do not intervene when you did. I tried to think what might have become of me. Permit me to introduce myself. Faldone of Charlian, at your service. Truly?
I'm Charlian too, a recent graduate of the Studium. In fact, would you mind telling us what happened?
Oh, well, that an alumna should come to my rescue. Thaliak watches over his own. As to what happened, what is there to say? I was going about my business when they set upon me, without warning or provocation. I'm sure it's that simple.
I see. What is your business, if you do not mind my asking?
Healing, the provision of it, that is. I'm a sage, you see, and I travel the realm, providing treatment gratis to those who cannot afford it. A sage besides. Speaking of which, one of your assailants, the Vieira man, also wielded sage magic. Was he known to you? No, I had never so much as laid eyes upon him before. I do have an inkling, however, as to why the villains have come here. If they use the sage's art for ill, then their destination is like to be Saint Mosian's Arboretum. The Arboretum? What could they possibly seek at that abandoned place? Following the Exodus, the cultivation of certain plants became forbidden to Charlian, But that which can no longer be found in the motherland still grows freely here, among which are potent but dangerous herbs. I see. That does stand to reason, and I dare say it was for your knowledge that the fugitives attacked you. Assuming he's telling the whole story. You two are a sage, yet you do not appear to be Charlian. How did you come by your soul crystal? The good people of Physis Technon had entrusted the crystal to me, and when it exhibited a strong resonance in Shroud's presence, I in turn entrusted it to him. Then you were chosen to inherit. Is Artemis Master Faldrene? No, 'tis nothing. But I was but struck by the remarkable providence to have crossed paths with sages so far from home. Ours is a reclusive nation, after all. Our policy to observe, not intervene. This did not sit well with me, and so I left Charlian behind, as the great Master Louisoix once did, and though I would never dare acquit myself to him, I too believe in my duty to alleviate suffering in the world. So that's what brought you to Eorzea. You are a noble soul, Master Svaldane, and I commend your resolve. Oh. My suspicious radar is at max. Well, I must return to the road. Thank you again for coming to my aid. Till next we meet, let us both endeavor to seek out new knowledge and possibilities for the betterment of mankind. Ta-ta! Yeah, he's bailing. Never trust someone with a monocle and a top hat. Let us head to Saint Mosian's Arboretum at once. Given what we know of the fugitives, I had considered that they might be after knowledge sealed in the Great Gobal Library, but Master Faldrene presents a compelling theory. And for an all but proven theory of my own, our quarry have clearly enhanced themselves with sage magic. I had suspected as much, given that they stole, but the leader's actions earlier leave little room for doubt. Not that it gives us any greater insight into who they are and their ultimate goal. Regardless, to use a sage's soul crystal for ill is unforgivable, and I'll not rest until these criminals have been brought to justice. Right, to the Arboretum. Our mission aside, I dare say it will be an ideal place for your training. I suppose. Alright. Just over yonder. Okay. Hello, Click-Clocks. How are you doing? Patience. Patience. Ignore. Ah, here we are. By the scholar, so this is Saint Mosian's Arboretum. From the illustrations, I did not think it would be so immense. It may interest you to know that this place holds special meaning to sages. From ancient strains to crossbred creations, myriad medicinal plants have been cultivated within its halls.
Alas, in the wake of the Exodus 15 years ago, this once magnificent institution has fallen into ruin. Still, there's a certain charm in seeing nature reassert her dominion. Why, it must be a veritable menagerie of rare wildlife within. I would like to spend a day studying them, field guide in hand. Forgive me, this isn't a field trip, but a mission. Our objective is to find the fugitives and failing that, clues that will lead us to them. Possess to your preparations. A spot of practice with your spells would not go astray. And then we shall venture in. Everyone to say Jackson Street on Sundays. Alright. Yes, alright, so get some practice in. If you're ready, then let us venture forth. Alright. Your item level has been synced to 395. Well, synced there. Okay. Your assumption is correct. The fugitives have come and may still be here. Keep your eyes peeled and your guard up. These halls are home to dangerous creatures. I will draw their attention that you may focus on applying your techniques. Alright. So, shall we practice some... that. Fundamentals? To begin with, cast Cardia on me. The spell will establish a magical link between us. Alright, Cardia is on. The residual ether of your attacks will be channeled onto me, healing my wounds as you deal damage to our foes. Ah, so it's a link heal. Okay. Or it's a link heal. Gotcha. Yes, just so. Let us continue on. Sizable Fiend ahead. I believe this calls for... yeah, this time augment your spells using Eucrasia, then cast Eucrasia Diagnosis on me. Eucrasia. That'd be T. Barrier provides both protection and healing. Okay. Switch those two. Okay. Okay. Ah, okay. No, that's what. There. What? There we go. Note here, okay. This is gonna take some practice. Fiends ahead. Please watch my back. Absolutely.
Okay. I think I see how that combos together properly. So I'm gonna switch those around. Yeah. Alright, so that's how I can drop a dot. Okay, so that's what Eurycrasiodosis is a dot, where its base form is just a base attack. Okay, I think I get that. Some manner of plant seems to have been harvested here. I can't identify it by the remaining parts, however. There may be other clues nearby. We should investigate further. Alright. An impression on the edge of the lily pad suggests someone knelt here, perhaps in the water. Okay. These are strong-ass lily pads. More of the same plant taken. What could it possibly be? Medicine? Just in the bottom of the pool is an animal carcass overgrown with plant life. Perhaps it fell in. Okay. Fine scorch marks are in evidence on the leafage, reminiscent of those left by some sage magics. Okay. Traces of ice. Someone recently fought here. A proficient wielder of magic. The fugitives may be close. Be on your guard. Hope we're not fighting them, because I is still very, very, very rough around the edges with this class. Fugitives, in the name of the Forum, I demand you surrender yourselves at once. Of all the weapons to bear against us, no matter. I warned you once, and I won't warn you again. Oh, fuck. Hope the game intends for me to get my ass kicked, otherwise this is gonna end very... This is gonna take a while. Ah, shit. Oh, come on.
Alright. Try this again.
This is gonna take some practice. Loifa, we don't have time for this.
Get over here. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
You held your own against the enhanced. But aye, that's enough sport for now. The mission takes precedence. Confound it, not again! They bailed! What's this? I'm assuming herbs that they dropped. The pouch they dropped contained a plant. What they came for, I shouldn't doubt. 'Tis some manner of herb, but none I've seen in the course of my studies. And as I made my way out, I also stumbled upon what appears to be a diary by the entrance. Though much of its contents are magically obfuscated, I could make out some semantical terms, so we may assume it belonged to a sage. As we continue our pursuit, I will work on lifting the enchantment. When you have a moment, please feel free to peruse the contents of Idleshire. On that note, let us head back to the settlement. Spectacular. Yeah, no, I cast a thing. I can't cast Cardian myself. I can cast Cardion on myself. Cardian is what you cast on other people. I could just read the tooltip. Grant self the effect of Cardian and a selected party member, or wait. So during the fight, it says or, but during the fight, I saw both effects active. So I just assumed that meant that it's a double effect. Regardless. With practice, I'll figure out what does what. I wish the tooltips were more descriptive. Are they more descriptive in 10? That would help. Cardian. Grant self the effect of Cardian and a selected party member or self-effective Cardian restoring HP. Okay, so it says or. Then why is then why does two symbols show up? Is that symbol something else? I'll have to double check. I don't know, I'll have to do a test. But, we're going to do one person at a time? Alright, then what was the second, boost tab? What was that? Because the first symbol that showed up, when I pressed Cardia was there, and then I pressed it for myself, and then there was two effects going on at the same time. I don't know what's with that. Oh, next time they're both up, I gotta check which is which. Yes, but the thing is, when I cast it on her, one symbol was up, and then I cast it on myself, a second symbol was up. I'm not talking about one symbol, two. They're right on screen. If you don't believe me, just go back a few seconds. During the fight, there were two symbols, so I just assumed that meant I was doubling up an effect. But regardless. Again, I don't know why there's a second symbol. I'll have to check what that is. Because it's not mentioned in the tooltip why there are two symbols.
We shall see. I suppose maybe it's a double effect, but it can only apply to one individual at a time. I don't know. I just don't know why there were two symbols. I just assumed that was doubling up an effect. Oh, okay, the other one... Okay, so one represents recipient, and the other just represents that the ability is active. Okay. So that's why I had two symbols. I just assumed it was giving myself the effect as well as her. Well, part of learning a new class is learning how the abilities work. I will say this. I hate Sage. I'll be blunt. I fucking hate this class. But, I'm sure other people are much better at it. So, I don't know. I have to level it to max so I can get a damn mount, but oh well. I'm sure the story will be at least engaging. It's interesting so far. Leave off here. Well, guys, thanks everybody for watching. I'll be in VC in the Discord for a short little while, just if anyone wants to chat for a minute or two. Then I'm probably gonna get some dinner. Today was a pretty good day. We made it through the healing role quest, which was fun. And we unlocked Sage, which isn't my cup of tea, but at the very least, it might hopefully will have an engaging class story. And once I max it out, I can leave it to the professionals who actually enjoy the class. Anyway, have a good time, everybody. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, that's right. I gotta turn it in. I could have turned it in next time, but I guess I'll turn it in now. Before I forget. I've dispatched the plan to Charlene for identification. We learn what it is. I believe we will insight into the villain's objectives. Now tell me, Shroud, have you been practicing with the Nullus? While I wasn't looking, I asked because even with the crystal's knowledge, you demonstrated remarkable proficiency. Regardless, 'tis plain you have a gift for the art. The sages whose memories reside in the crystal must be beaming with pride. Though sometimes I cannot help but wonder, if the sage's art is created for the betterment of mankind, why then does it incorporate techniques which inflict harm? And the fugitives, what could have compelled them to spurn our homeland's prescribed policy, as Master Louis Swan and Master Fell do not have? Our act, but I'm mused to no avail. It will be a while before we hear back regarding the plant. Until we do, please take the opportunity to continue honing your skills. As you do about your training, heed the verses with your soul crystal. Do so, and your predecessors will surely grant you the wisdom to protect those you hold dear. Alright, now I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, everybody.